Aloha, here. My name is Ed Lindsey. I'm born and raised in Lahaina. You don't find too many people who are born and raised in Lahaina nowadays because the population has been changing. And before we used to be a mixed culture, Japanese, Filipino, Chinese, Hawaiian, Haoris. And this is changing now. And I told some of my Japanese friends that, hey, you're endangered species now, huh? And they're like, yeah, we are. Let me first say that, let me introduce my wife, Ed Lindsey. And it's always good to have a good partner who will give support or hold your feet to the fire, whichever comes first. There's several things I want to discuss with you. Number one, I want to talk about empowerment first. When we talk about empowerment, we're talking about responsibility. And so be careful what you ask for. And then you have the responsibility of taking care of something. And it's a lifetime commitment. You know, it's not, well, I got to do something today, next time. No, it's a lifetime commitment. It's like a child. When you take on something like this, it's like a child. If you don't look after it, who will look after it? Nobody, or somebody's going to come out with money and buy it out. And that's what we're faced with. When ANFAC Pioneer Mill was going out of business, I saw all the lands was going up for sale. And to me it was an opportunity, even though it was a tragedy, it was an opportunity to go out and look for people who could buy the lands. Oluwalu could have been bought for $6 million. You know, now one property is that much. I went to Oahu and made a presentation for all the lands, not only on Maui, but on the Big Island, on Hawaii, and on Oahu. Sugar was dead. But the people with the money never went up or had the guts to go out and put the money on there and hold it out for the public. So, what you folks have done, the Save Honolua Coalition, is that you've racked a huge amount of political clout, as you may very well know. So the object now is to how to use this political clout. You're on the playing field. And when you're on the playing field, it's important to discuss things with the landowner. But first, before you do that, as Ellie was saying, you have to have a common vision. Nothing like having somebody with a common vision and somebody else say, well, that's not my vision. And then before you know it, you have hooky-hooky, pulling against each other. And somebody's going to take home the marbles and go home. You know, that's always a danger. So you better have a common vision. For us at Maui Cultural Lands, we face the same problem with the line open space and the development of the airport of North Beach, what they call North Beach, at the airport. We did an intervention. And there were, my sister and I and my mother were the local people, we were the lightning rods to the Ainu. And the rest of the folks were retired executives. And they had money, and they seen what had happened outside of Hawaii in the Caribbean islands. Where people move in, develop, they break the land, break the people, and then they move on to next. And the same thing is happening here. I heard some people in the Maui news recently call it carpetbaggers coming in. I don't know who was a carpetbagger here, but it's the truth, and these guys are coming with large amounts of money and deep pockets. Another thing was that if you have a thought, and I like to encourage young people, it doesn't matter if you have a degree or if you have a great-grand pupa in the back of you or whatever. God gave everybody a mind and a heart and a feeling to know what is right. So when you have a thought and you express this thought, the media today will just bury you. It won't get out of your small circles. So therefore, you gotta be tough as hell. You have to be an advocate of your vision and of your thoughts. And you don't need validation from anybody. Again, I repeat, you don't need validation from anybody who is lettered or an expert or anything like that. Because many times you see experts who really don't know anything about the local things. And they depend on the local people. And expert testimony is credible, they say, in the political arena. But I always say, but we are the constituents. We are the ones who vote for people to get into office. Next, the third part, I would like to ask you folks about values. Values are very important. Values are the things that's going to hold the organization together. Some of the values that we use in Maui cultural lands are simple values that everybody can subscribe to, and regardless of where you come from, religion or foundation or whatever. And it's aloha and malama. That came from my dad before he died. And we have always, as a family, always worked with values, Hawaiian values. You can go through the whole list of values. But aloha and malama, because aloha is compassion, it's love, it's kokua. That means you help without expecting anything in return. I hear a lot of people say, well, all right, you owe me one now. That's not aloha, and that's not kokua. And you have to be honest, that's pono. Pono is involved in that. And when you're honest, then the lines to you are clear. When you start to dodging and being tricky, you start kicking up your lines in power, the lines that you receive from Keapua or wherever you spiritual being is. So it's important to be pono. Another one, malama. Malama means to take care of things properly. For example, if you have a plant, all right, I'm going to malama this plant, so you water it, and you water it, and you water it, and the next thing you find out the plant dead. But I took care of the plant. You need to do it properly. Some plants don't require very much water. In fact, they don't like too much water. So you have to take care of things properly. And to take care of things properly, you have to know what the species and what it requires and how much attention it needs and how much growth it needs, how much time they need to be alone to give them a chance to grow. Another one is onipa'a. Be steadfast in what you're doing and what you are and who you are. Onipa'a means you're not going to move. So if the Honolua Coalition is onipa'a on their vision, you stick the course. You stay the course. So aloha, malama, onipa'a, and the last one is ho'omanawanui, and that's the toughest.